Hi, welcome to A Fine Podcast with your host Amanda and
Joseph. Yeah, welcome back, everyone.
yes, welcome to our podcast where we are podcasting from our home this week.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about The Bachelor episode 2.
Yes, but we are back from our travels and back from Florida, back from West Virginia, and now we are back home. And we are actually podcasting from our bed.
Yeah, we are.
It's a bedcast.
Yeah.
Because why?
I don't know. We didn't want to do it downstairs.
Because we're tired. No, because we want to relate. So come, pull up a chair and relax with us for this podcast episode where we review the second episode of The Bachelor.
Yes.
From?
Yeah.
It's fun to be relaxed and to talk about The Bachelor, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
So we watched this week's episode last night and we are reviewing it now. And what did you think of the episode overall?
It was at least a little bit better than the first one.
Why do you say that?
Because there was a fun song in it.
Oh. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that song. But yeah, this one was pretty good. We had our first dates with some of the women, and we got to see a little bit more about Grant and who he is and some of his talents. So
Yeah, but it was with all the women.
well, special personalized dates with some of the women.
Yeah.
But then 2 big group dates
Right.
with everybody.
Yes. I like doing this instead of our nice microphones.
No, I like our nice microphones.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to be back with our nice microphones and in our podcast studio.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's fun to just do the podcast in different locations. On the go, on the fly, you know? It's just fun.
Yeah, when you're outside of your house.
Or when you're inside your house, comment below what room you want us to do the podcast out of next week. Could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Choose upstairs or downstairs. Do you want it from the couch? Would you like it over here? Would you like it over there?
Okay.
Remember the CPR video?
Yes.
On TikTok, they take Freak a Leak and then they put it to like the CPR beat. And then the woman's doing CPR on the dummy and then she's singing the Freak a Leak song.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a really good one.
All right, let's get back on track here. This is, I mean...
What do you think of Petey Pablo?
Okay, this is not a podcast about random stuff.
Maybe it should be a podcast too about some random stuff. Let us know if you want that. We have a lot of opinions on Petey Pablo and other artists.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the singer of Freak a Leak.
Okay, that's news
He knows.
to me.
Well, wouldn't it be great? We could test his knowledge on some pop culture.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why?
It's my least favorite subject.
That's why it'd be fun to quiz you, and then in return you can learn some new facts.
Yeah, some useless information that I'm never going to use in my life.
Oh, you'll use it. It'll come back to you when you least expect it.
Yeah. All right.
So The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So the episode starts off with Rebecca clutching on to her rose that she received the night before for dear life, and she says she's hanging on to it as a manifestation. She's going to stay. Do you remember this part?
No.
It's a very short part in the beginning.
Oh.
But
Who was this? The person who won last week?
this is Rebecca.
Yes, she's holding the rose, hoping that it's a symbolism that she will survive until the end and unite with Grant as husband and wife.
And does that work out for her?
No, she gets eliminated next round.
No, you can't. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
That was a quiz, a pop quiz, and a test moment, and you failed. No, but thank you for telling us that. So this is the episode where Alex is going on her special one-on-one date because she won the first impression rose the episode before, and then there are 2 other group dates. So the first group date is a date where they go to play basketball with Grant. It's a shoot your shot date. Basketball.
Yeah.
With kids. What'd you think about the kids being there?
Yeah, I mean, I knew they were going to do something to that effect.
Why?
I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, this reminded me of, like, you know, Flavor of Love, where the kids show up, because,
Yes.
I mean,
thank you
yeah.
for that
I
reference.
knew that was, of course it wasn't going to be them just playing basketball together, so.
You knew another element was coming into play?
Well, when he said, there's a special twist to this or whatever, signifying there's something, I immediately thought of kids.
Really?
Yeah, because he's also, he talked so much in the first one that he was big into it and wanting
Big into...
kids.
And he wants to be a father.
Yeah.
So this was a test of basketball and also a test of your future parenting skills or how you would interact with kids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're having the kids. I mean, you see, I don't even remember her name, but
Natalie.
you see the one girl, yes, with the not even playing basketball and just talking to the kids, which I guess was actually a pretty good move because ultimately it was more about that than the basketball. And I guess that little girl didn't have any interest in playing basketball, so.
Well, it's Natalie, and she says she works with kids for a living. So she says she doesn't really have any skills at playing basketball, but she does at communicating with kids and making them feel better. So, well, they all gather up, and then Grant says, okay, it's time for everybody to shoot a free throw into the basket. And then it's Zoe's turn, and she forfeits her turn. And she says, hey, here's my shot. I'm taking a shot with you. Can we go up the elevator and onto the rooftop so we can talk alone? And then she grabs Grant, and then they run off in the middle of the whole competition.
Yeah, this was, I don't know. I mean, I guess I get that it's the competition thing, but I don't know. This is where I kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
How do you feel about her being so bold to do this?
I don't know. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I get it because, you know, it's the point of the game, or, you know, this whole thing's basically just a big game, right? I mean, it's to see who can sway him. And so there's all going to be this butting in and trying to talk to him. Because, yeah, it's I don't even know how to. I can't even use. Yeah, I mean, he's just. I don't know. I feel like he should not allow this to happen.
Yeah, I feel like it is a little unfair towards everybody else. It was in the middle of the event that they had planned, and then it ended up eating into all the time that they had to do the free throw competition before they entered in the team games, the 5-on-5 competition that they had planned. So by the time they got back, everybody was just waiting. That whole thing was done, and then there was no time for anybody else.
Yeah, which I think there's times to where, you know, maybe around the house or something, you can try to be more forward with that stance, because I don't know, at the same time, I mean, he's trying to do these events to see, you know, how they act with children, if they're any good at it, and trying to steal them away to talk to them privately at that time, I feel like is not a great time to do it, because you're taking away from his primary objective, which was seeing more about the kids and whatnot. So I don't see this as a bad thing, but I don't know, he seems to constantly let himself get interrupted by people throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, he just lets everybody do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, he really like gets steamrolled this whole episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. I understand it's a competition, but I did not. I think it was the wrong moment to do something like that.
I mean, so we have the two teams. We have purple and yellow. Purple was the Grant Prize, and the yellow team was the Grant Slam.
But how come they put all tall people on one team and all short people on the other team? Doesn't that seem like unequal balance?
No, that was advantageous. All the tall people grouped up together because they figured that would give them an advantage, which it did, because they annihilated the yellow team.
In this game, Allie Joe pushed Zoe. There's like a lot of
Yeah, they got into a fight because obviously Allie Joe we see is kind of more of this hothead about the whole thing and doesn't really like how Zoe just kind of stepped in and stole the time from everybody else. So she has these mixed feelings that continue on, and there is much tension between them.
Yeah. Chloe ends up winning MVP, and she wins Grant's jacket, and she also gets some more time with Grant, and they seem to be getting along. What do you think of their connection?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see really that much there. Like, I definitely don't see her being a finalist or anything.
Yeah.
I feel like they have a little bit of something, but yeah, is it...
It's not strong.
Compared to some of the other girls out there, I would say it's pretty insignificant. So I don't think she's a strong contender in the long run.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But when everybody gets back to the house, there's a fight between the ladies and Zoe based off of Zoe's actions earlier that day. And basically this fight is led by Allie Joe too. And she says that everyone felt disrespected when Zoe left and took Grant away. And she says, well, I don't regret it, and I shot my shot, and that's it.
Yeah, she really took the phrase of the day to be pretty literal, so.
Yeah. And then we see Grant whipping out some oil to put all over Juliana's hand because she broke her nails earlier.
Yeah, this made no sense. I don't understand how oil is supposed to help broken nails, but slathering it all over the hand is strange. It's very weird.
You didn't think that was a romantic
No.
gesture that he did?
It's very weird.
Hey, Juliana, here's a bat of oil for your hand.
Yeah.
And then Juliana gets interrupted by Zoe when she's talking to Grant, which makes Zoe hate it even more. And then Grant seems to be feeling good about Zoe. He says, "Oh, we have a spark," after they talk. So maybe Grant likes this behavior for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, seems to have a connection. And I guess that's maybe why he was open to having it as an option in the first place of taking her up, because maybe he does have some type of connection. I guess we'll see, but
Well, then Allie Joe comes in and interrupts Zoe's time with Grant to try to like get one back at her. And this was really weird because Allie Joe brings Grant like maybe 6 feet away from where he was with Zoe. So Zoe's just watching, like looking in on them the whole time. And then Zoe comes over and steals Grant away from Allie Joe.
yeah, I guess she was trying to do it to get payback or have her kind of see what it means to her. And but then as Allie Joe and Grant are talking, Zoe comes back over and then tries to steal her back. And I really just this whole part, I don't know why Grant didn't step up and just say, you know, let me finish the time here and then I'll get to you.
He just lets whatever
This back
happen.
and forth with them, yeah, just letting them happen, like just walk all over was, I don't think, a great take on this.
Yeah, and I feel like stealing each other's time just seems like a little bit disrespectful on both ends. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't look good either from either one of them. Just made both look pretty bad.
So then Allie Joe and Zoe return back to all of the women, and then Allie Joe starts arguing with Zoe, and then Zoe doesn't say a word back to Allie Joe. Just dead silent.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was good, because what is there really to say at this point?
Yeah. I mean, they just need to have some time separated from each other.
Yeah. So Allie Joe's like a little fight starter. Or like it really gets under her skin when Zoe is constantly stealing him. Which makes sense, but she really acts on her anger.
Yeah.
But it's the end of the night, and Grant has a rose to give away, and it goes to Natalie at the end.
Yeah. And that almost kind of, I think for all the other girls, kind of probably came out of left field. Because I think, back again, I mean, I think they were all very focused on the basketball part of it and not so much on the kid aspect, which I think she hit a home run with that. As far as, what the objective was for the day. And
yeah. Grant doesn't care how well you play basketball, but he cares if you put forth effort and also if you connected with the children that were there. So, thank goodness you're back, because it's time to discuss Alex's date.
yes, so she has a one-on-one in a abandoned mall, apparently, that they're able to somehow rent out.
Yeah, well, it is at night. So all the stores would have been closed, right?
Yeah, but still, they had to, I'm sure, rent that out. I mean, to leave this.
Well, yeah, they did. I'm just saying it would have been easier.
Yeah, I guess
do
as far
that.
as no one's showing up, but to have all those stores like open that they could walk into and play and look at, and
Yeah, it was probably just a set number of stores that they could go venture in that they left open for the night.
yeah.
But this was a really cool date idea.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing looked very fun, and like a pretty cool thing to do. I mean, it looks like they had a lot of different things that they tried, and
Yeah, they race. What were the dogs that they were on?
yeah, I don't know, some motorized.
Like electronic dogs they were racing on throughout the mall. They jump on beds. They make giant ice cream sundaes. They play giant paddleball.
Ping pong.
I thought that was paddleball.
Paddleball, what are you talking about? What is paddleball?
Actually, wait, what is paddleball?
I've never heard of paddleball.
No, that's the thing with the string.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, they played what?
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
They just had giant paddles.
Paddles. Paddleball.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they're called paddles, but they're not. It was ping pong.
Okay, well, they did a bunch of activities.
Yes.
And then they walk into this one store that has a piano in it. And Grant starts playing the piano and singing. And it's a really, really good song.
Yeah, his little apparently improv thing that he came up with on the spot.
He says he came up with it on the spot, but for that to be on the spot, that's amazing.
I don't know. I think the words came up on the spot. I think
Yeah,
that,
you were saying this, but I still think the words were pretty
oh,
good.
no, absolutely. I think so. My guess is, and maybe not, maybe the whole thing was, I feel like the music may have been, he already had that tune in before, and probably is like, joked around or just, casually sung that with like the tune, and then he added the words on top of it. Maybe not. Maybe he did the whole thing, which would be, I mean, very, very impressive. But yeah, I would say at least maybe the music and the tune was kind of thought out before, but the words were, I don't know, that's just my take. But nonetheless, it's still a little fun, little song that he came up with, nonetheless.
It was really good.
So.
And so they bond. Grant says he had issues with his dad growing up. They talk about that a little bit. And then she says, well, I was raised by my grandparents growing up. I have an estranged mother. I didn't see my dad for 17 years. So they bond over some things that have happened in both their pasts. And then she gets the rose at the end of the night.
Yeah, and they have the big giant, well, actually they had that big giant screen in the middle of the mall as well, with the rose and whatnot. But yeah, she gets a rose and she's set to move on for another day.
Yeah. So that was a good date, and they got to connect a lot. So I think they have a good connection
Yes.
at this point.
Yeah, I would say theirs is pretty strong. Definitely one of the top contenders. So everything looks strong there.
Yeah. So going into our second group date, we have everybody else that wasn't in the first group date.
Yeah.
And this group first walks in, and then we see Mario singing Let Me Love You, which you were like, who is that? What? And then I was like, wow, I can't believe it's him singing this song, because I used to sing this song all the time. Years ago when it first came out. I guess it was 2004 or something, but...
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing the song on the radio and stuff.
And you didn't love it?
No.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a great song.
But
I don't know. Seeing him, like, would I pick Mario out of a crowd? I don't know. But when he was singing a song, I understood it was him.
yeah, that was impressive. I did not know that.
Yeah, so you didn't make any connection as to who this is at all?
No.
Wow.
I thought it was Mario Lopez.
Didn't you say, is that Mario Lopez there? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because you weren't looking at him yet.
No, I was looking at him.
And you still thought it was Mario Lopez?
No.
So Mario comes and he announces what the challenge is for the ladies on this date. And he says they have to perform for Grant, which means singing and dancing.
Yeah, so we're still kind of leading with this music theme, ending the one-on-one date into this group date now, and he does a little freestyle again, leading into this with
he says again he wrote something on the way there and he wanted to test it out. Well, not again, but something to where he's performing something very quickly after he thinks of it again.
Okay. So this one isn't improv.
The first one's an improv. The second one was I wrote it in the car on the way here.
Okay.
How does he do this so fast?
Well, I mean, he said like what? It's like 16 lines. I mean, it was kind of no different than what they.
I guess it was like kind of.
It was a little bit. I mean, it was longer than what the girls had to do, but.
That's true. That's true.
It really was. It still wasn't like massively long.
I thought the women were gonna have to do much more than what they ended up doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like shocked because I was first really like, are they intimidated by this whole thing? Because that sounds like a lot to learn how to do.
Well, I think it would have been more impressive if they had made it the longer. I mean, a lot of them I think just did like really short stuff. They just thought they'd do some like quick, simple thing and then flaunt around. But I think it would have been more. He was looking probably more for how much more you could have come up with. Because I think that would have been. I think that's what he was looking for.
But do you think you would have just walked out there and would have forgotten everything? Because you saw some people like they were dancing with their papers, which had like the lyrics on it. But
yeah,
would you just like would your mind just go blank once you got out there?
No, but I think it would have been more impressionable upon him if there was someone who had actually made a couple more words or was longer to it.
Do you think it all should have been memorized?
No, I don't think so.
You like the people that ran out there with the piece of paper?
I don't know. Maybe some people aren't good at memorizing.
Yeah, I think that would be challenging to do.
I mean, sure, some of them could have. I mean, if it was like the 8 to 12 words that some of them just said and that was it. Sure, I would expect you to, I would hope you could memorize that maybe, but.
Now, did this challenge remind you of any Rock of Love challenge?
Yeah. The whole karaoke thing. Yeah.
There are a couple challenges. Well, on different seasons.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah. It reminded me of some good times on Rock of Love.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people really didn't have a lot to say, like you said, and then they ended up doing other things. Like there was one, I don't know who it was, but somebody did the splits up there. Like, hey, I have nothing else to do. Let me just like do the splits or something.
Yeah.
And then Carolina started speaking Spanish again.
Yeah. She's big on that.
And then she wins the time with Grant.
Yeah, so shockingly, but I mean, I will say though, hers was like one of the longest ones. It's the longest phrases or words that I actually had. I mean, because she said a little bit in English and then she said a whole bunch of Spanish, but yeah, he didn't understand it. But I mean, at least it was like one of the longest.
Maybe that's why he picked
longest talking ones. I'm sure she probably explained what it meant later or something, but yeah, at least it was like, I think that was the main objective here, was just to see how many, words that you could put out to express.
Like it shows how much effort you put into it.
Yeah, because I think the ones that tried to almost just do more dancing versus word talking was not what he was looking for.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, she wins, and then they have time together, which is just like time on stage with everybody like looking at them. And then she proceeds to kiss him like crazy on the stage in front of everybody, which was really weird.
Yeah.
I think it was way too much, and I wasn't expecting her to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they go a little over the top, especially in a crowded room like that. But
Yeah, she like gets on top of him, and it's just really weird.
yeah.
In front of everybody. It's like in front of the audience, in front of all the girls. There's like no privacy. But then later she says, "Oh yeah, I just had to have my time."
Well, she said that, but then she also said, "I'm not normally the one that would do something like that."
This. And they're like, "But you did."
Yeah.
That someone says that to her.
Well, yeah, and well, because there was that, and then the girl who said something, you know, I don't kiss on the first date or something, and then.
But then she ended up kissing.
Yes, yeah. So a lot of them apparently don't act like their normal selves. Which I wonder why, because you're on TV, so.
And then let's talk about all the drinks that are flowing, too, which could definitely play into not acting like themselves.
Yeah,
somewhat.
sure.
But every time you see them, there's like not every time, but a lot of the times.
Majority of the time.
What were you saying about the glasses?
They're just very full, and there's like multiple glasses because you can see. I guess this is why Love Is Blind tries to do the whole cold cup, because you can see, you know, the amounts starting, and then later on you see it's like refilled again, you know, probably multiple times, and it's already like a huge glass, so there's a lot of liquor flowing.
I think they encourage it there.
Oh, of course. The producers are looking for the drama, and that's where all the drama happened. So it is it is a catalyst in the whole thing.
Yep. So Grant comes in to the ladies after the date, and he senses a really awkward vibe in the group. So then he pulls Rebecca one-on-one and asks her, why are things this awkward here? And she says, well, you know, group dates are tough, and I'm just honored that you've asked me about this. And I think it's kind of a bad thing that he's asking Rebecca about this, because it was almost like a buddy moment. Like, hey, buddy, you know why everything's so awkward out there? Like, I did not feel like a connection between the two of them during this conversation. Almost like when Flavor Flav used, like, one of his, like that, or somebody else that he thought was just like a friend to... Or no, Oyster is a better example.
Right, yeah.
Red Oyster. She was like the one, you know, hey, here's what happened in the house, and here's what everybody's been saying. And then he would have one-on-one time with her, but you never saw like a romantic connection between the two. I don't know. Anyway, bad comparison. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but
yeah.
On Flavor of Love, season 1, Red Oyster. And yeah, that's what I thought about that. But do you see a romantic connection? Well, anyway, you know what happens. So.
Yeah, she gets eliminated. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you're right. Because I mean, I think, you know, with the one-on-one time, if he had a connection with someone that he was actually interested in, I don't think he would have been wasting time talking about that. I think it would have been something more meaningful and trying to get more out of it versus just asking, hey, what's the
vibe out here?
Yeah.
It would be like, how are you as a person? Let me get to know you like a little bit more.
Yeah.
He wouldn't care at that point.
Right.
But we quickly see all the girls turning on Carolina for what happened earlier. And then she feels like she has to address this with Grant. So how did that work out?
Yeah, so, well, first before Carolina, Lydia showed up. She...
Explain what happened with Lydia.
So Lydia comes in next, and then she wants to talk about, because she mentioned there's like a little flashback to, you know, with his first impression or interaction with her. He said, oh, you know, you're so beautiful, you probably don't get told no a lot or something. And she talks about how, you know, oh, that was triggering for her and whatnot, because, you know, she's saying this is why I'm here. It's because of a no. And that really bothered her. So she comes out and tells him that. And
Wait. She says what?
I'm here because of a no.
Because I have gotten told no?
Yeah, because she was previously in a relationship. She mentions that she was with someone on and off for 3.5 years, and he finally broke it off entirely. So there was a no, and now that haunts her, I guess. So she was bothered by that. She comes clean about it, or opens up about it, and then he, says he's sorry about that, and he was just kind of making a quick judgment and whatnot. And he didn't say he apologized for the statement, but he just has to make a quick assessment, and that was just what came out. But he gets it, and he thanks her, and she starts crying and all this stuff. So, but they walk away at the end of it. I mean, better, and I would say that was probably, something that kind of helped boost their connection. So
yeah, that definitely made it deeper.
Yeah. So there you have Carolina come in, and she talks, and she was like, well, I was so excited, after such a great day, and then after talking to all the girls, that they're bothered by how we acted and everything, and they put a damper on the whole day. And why can't they just be happy for somebody else if something good happens to them? And he just mentions basically that if anyone's giving you slack or whatnot, to come to me, and because I'm supposed to protect you, and I'll take care of it. And basically just that if it ever happens again, just go to him and tell him about it.
So he's on her side about this.
Yeah. And she feels better, and then that was basically their conversation. So that went pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, I do think they seem to have a stronger one. Or a stronger connection, or one of the stronger ones out of the group. And yeah, it was kind of a short but sweet thing. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. That ends it, and then he goes home after that, and that ends the night of the group date.
First, Lydia gets a rose. It's a pretty big moment. He goes home after that, and everyone packs away their stuff in the end. So when did he give Lydia the rose?
Yeah, so I guess after Carolina left, or is done with their one-on-one, he goes back to all the girls, and Lydia wins the rose for the day, which Carolina's like really upset about that, and I think all the other girls were shocked, or at least probably happy that it wasn't Carolina. So
yeah,
Lydia and Alex and Natasha are our 3 early bird winners. Natalie are our 3 early bird winners.
So then it's the last chance, after they all packed up and went home. It's the last chance to talk to Grant before the final rose ceremony. And we see a little bit of Beverly being there for him emotionally. We see that Ella wrote him a note, and he says, "Can I keep this?" We see Bailey getting emotional, really emotional, and crying. And she's swaying back and forth. There's tears streaming down her face. And she says she's really been struggling with being vulnerable. And then Chloe comes in and talks to Grant while Grant is in the middle of talking to Bailey, who's sobbing. Which that was a weird, awkward moment to pull Grant away from.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bailey was part of the dancing group, right? She wasn't part of the basketball thing, so or maybe I don't know if they told her what happened or whatnot, but she did seem pretty open to her coming in. Maybe because, I mean, she was crying like consistently and was kind of embarrassed by that, so it almost looked like she was almost kind of happy or glad that just
she's like, oh yes,
recover
let me
from
get out of here, let me get out of
herself,
here.
yeah.
But it also looked strange though. It's like someone's in the middle of like sobbing and choking, and they're in the middle of talking, and then Chloe's like, I'd like to say goodnight to you, and she's like, oh okay, I don't know, that's like so awkward. She doesn't even get to like finish her statement.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of had to quickly subside, but
I also wrote that Alex has a llama stuffed animal that she was holding on to. Did you see that?
no. But I mean, she brought in a real llama last episode, so I'd believe it.
All right, so I think all of this is like setting it up to make it look like Bailey could be eliminated, right?
Yeah, I mean, last week it was...
They had to throw you off.
I don't even remember who it was now.
Gosh, yeah, I don't remember.
Some girl, she had like talking head after talking head, wanting to get the rose, and then she finally got it, but she was like the last one.
Yeah.
But now Bailey is that person this week.
Juliana, Beverly, Serafina, Carolina, Zoe, Dina. Which, did you know there was Dina?
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of Dina.
Yeah. I just remember her because she was very dominant in the first
Was she
episode.
New York or New Jersey?
She's the attorney. I just remember her being big on that, but...
Okay. And then there's Rose, Bailey, Parisa, Allie Joe, and then Chloe gets the last rose. Did you think Chloe was about to go home?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty... Well, I think I think he at least had a connection, probably because of her winning the basketball thing. I think that is almost like what maybe kept her in the end. But yeah, I think she could definitely be gone next week because I just don't think there's that much to...
Chemistry there.
Yeah.
They need to strengthen their connection or else she is out next week.
Yeah, but then too, I mean, I think how much more, if it really doesn't kind of kick off from the beginning, how... I don't know. There's no way she could win or
be a top contender at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, she's done for it regardless of what happens.
Goodbye, Chloe.
Yeah.
Maybe next week. But on the rejected list for this week, we had Ella, who wrote him the note that he kept.
Yeah, this is weird because he's like, she has this letter and she reads it all, or he reads it all, no, she reads it all to him. And at the end of it, he's like, wow, this is so great. And can I keep this? I want to hold on to it. And she's like, yeah, of course. And then she gets kicked out.
Yeah, it looks like they have a great moment. He's like, wow, this is so meaningful. And then he's like, to the curb.
Yeah. Yeah, so he probably just took it and threw it right in the trash or something.
That's so terrible.
Yeah.
And then Alicia was rejected, which I think we had her as like being a top contender last time.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
Well, she got the first. Well, no, she didn't.
No, she got nothing. She was never picked.
She got nothing. You get nothing. You lose.
Yeah.
I thought there was like a big moment between her and Grant in the first episode.
I don't remember.
It's like the first episode didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
No, but I do remember us talking about like she could be big. I thought we did say something like that.
Maybe we did, yeah.
We're gonna have to go back and rewatch our
Yeah.
podcast, the end of it.
Yeah.
So Ella, Alicia, and then Vicky. Which, do you remember who Vicky was? Because right now my mind is blank.
She kept making a couple there was a couple talking heads with her, but none of them were. She was okay. I don't know. I remember a little bit. There was a bunch of talking heads of her, but she wasn't. There weren't many interactions between them that they really captured. So.
Thus, she is eliminated.
Yeah.
And then also Rebecca, who was his friend that he asked, "What about the vibe in here?"
Yeah.
Eliminated.
Yeah.
So, who are your top 4 people this week that you think can make it to the final 4?
I would think Juliana, Carolina, Alex, and I don't know.
I think it could be
else?
Lydia. Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, those are the 3 I would say that are, in my mind, the most dominant. Now, one thing I don't really... I think he's put a lot of the physical aspects pretty early on with all of them. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out going forward. I feel like he's being a little bit too physical with things. And too quickly. I don't know, but that's just a personal opinion. But
I think some of that will fizzle out, like you said. I think someone's going to come, from the back and like surprise us in the top, maybe. Like maybe someone who's not getting as much camera time right now. But like it could be Natalie too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Juliana, I agree. Carolina, I think we saw her a lot in this upcoming preview too. But
yeah. I mean, I still think it'd probably be one of them. I just think overall, he's just, I don't know.
I think now they're building up Lydia a lot.
Yeah, there is a little bit there, but yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get more time, maybe with
Alex, Carolina,
one of the
Juliana,
one-on-one dates,
Lydia.
And having a one-on-one with someone else might help things out. So, but yeah, those would be the top 3 for me for now.
You need a top 4.
Then
I agree with it.
I guess Lydia then. Yeah, she'd probably be the...
So our top 4, Juliana, Carolina, Lydia, and Alex right now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the preview for next week. We see money flying. We see people washing dogs as an activity. There's Carolina on a plane with Grant. There's a solo date with Lydia. There's more drama with Zoe. And there's like some sort of drama with Grant and Carolina.
There seems to be a recurring theme where Zoe and Carolina continue to be played out as like the bad person.
The enemies.
And so, but it does give you a way where, yeah, if you don't see the event, where like the comments made about the dress next episode, then we know that's later on. So we know like Zoe and Carolina are at least still in for now. I think they showed a bunch of one-on-one dates. Nobody was in the finals from this one. I didn't go back and watch the preview from the first season. But you said you would. Yeah, I need to do that. But
maybe we'll do it next time.
Yeah. And
we've just been a little busy.
Yeah.
With travel and work. But
yeah, I have to go back and watch that. But no, I don't think there was really any this time that showed the finale preview. So
yeah. And then also Rose is crying in this preview.
Yes, but they did that one too.
I forgot about Rose for a second.
Because there's that whole scene, you did me dirty and all that stuff. So, but yeah.
How far do you think Rose is going to make it in the competition?
Not far. I don't think I saw maybe 2 or 3 more episodes. She doesn't seem to be very strong. Maybe even, I'd probably have to say either next week or the week after next. So 1 or 2 more left.
Yeah, but her name is Rose.
Yeah.
And he's giving out roses.
Yeah, that doesn't mean she's gonna make it.
Doesn't mean she's a shoo-in?
No.
All right, well, that was The Bachelor episode 2. And we're excited for next week to continue on Grant's journey for the 3rd episode that we will review.
Yeah, we will see what happens next week.
Do you think we'll be in our podcast room by then?
Yes.
Like for sure, or like
Yes.
maybe?
No, yes.
We will see you next week.
Yes. Take care, everyone.
Take care
Ciao.
and goodbye.